From the campus of Bucknell University, the Bison taking on the Terriers this afternoon on MyTV. Thank you so much for joining us as the Bucknell Bison host the Boston University Terriers at Soika Pavilion. I'm Adam Marco along with the coach, Pat Flannery. Coach, fun one here this afternoon. Be a good matchup in Patriot League play. Boston University has been good as of late. The Bison still trying to find themselves. Now for Boston, Max Mahoney is a stud. Quite the player that's going to lead the Terriers to the floor today.
Well, Mahoney not only gets 15 points a game and 8 or 10 rebounds, but when you're scouting them, he's the key to everything they do. So if you take him away with a double team, he passes out of that, he makes everybody else effective. But it really starts with Max Mahoney, and he's an all-league player, and I'm sure he's come today because he has a great game inside, mid-range, no threes.
Now for the Bison, you have to counter that somehow. Defensively, it's probably a lot of people. It's not just one guy, but Bruce Moore is going to be key on both sides of the floor tonight.
Well, Bruce Moore is the guy that Bucknell has just wanted to get going all year long. He has some good games. What hurts him sometimes, he gets in some foul trouble. And when it does, it really takes away that momentum and that opportunity for him to really be a star. So Bruce has to bring it today because he's one guy that can at least keep Mahoney from going off on the Bison.
Back to the Terriers, give me a key or two. How does Boston get out of here with the road win?
Well, first of all, they got to stretch the floor. Bucknell's doing a good job on defense, and they switch everything, so you have to open it up and you have to play unselfish. The other thing that they have to do is stay out of foul trouble.
For Bucknell, they're going to be without John Meeks today. He suffered a little bit of an illness these last couple of days. How did they come out of here with a win against what is now an upstart Terrier team?
Well, the good thing is they still have the rest of their guys that have played. And Jimmy Soto has to recognize defenses. Boston University will change some up. The other thing that's really important for Bucknell is they will get shots. They have to make shots because they have a great shooting team. When they play that way, they're really tough to play.
Heard Coach Pat Flannery's take. Now let's hear from Paul Grippy and Coach Nathan Davis.
Okay, Coach, back at Soika after a road game the other day. We're halfway through the Patriot League schedule here, so what are your thoughts about how your team has fared in the league up to this point?
Well, I think we are where we are. We're 5-4. We're 2 plays from being 7-2 or whatever and tied for first place, but we haven't gotten the job done. So we got to continue to play better. We got to play more consistently at both ends, especially offensively, and give ourselves a chance. Okay, BU is the one league team you haven't seen yet. They're not a great outside shooting team. They take it inside. What's the scouting report on the Terriers? Well, they have great size. Max Mahoney's just a great player. He's playing at a high level. He's playing as well, if not better than anyone in the league. They play through him. Walter White on the wing and McCoy at the point are good players that have also been playing at a high level, and I think their pieces around them are buying their roles. So we have to come out here, we have to play really hard to give ourselves a chance. Okay, and they're just one notch ahead of you in the standings, so looking forward to a big game and an important game today against the Terriers. Adam?
Thank you so much, Coach Davis and Paul. We'll hear from Paul a little bit later on this afternoon. The opening tip coming up next. Terriers taking on the Bison here on MyTV.
You're watching Bucknell Bison basketball on MyTV WQMY.
Starting lineups being announced here at Soika Pavilion. First for the visiting Boston University Terriers. Terriers come in 6-3 in Patriot League play. Max Mahoney is an all-everything right now for Boston University. 15.4 points per game. Nearly a double-double every night, it seems, for Mahoney. Walter White, Javante McCoy, Suk Mayton, and Jonas Harper, the starting 5 for Joe Jones and the Boston University Terriers. Joe Jones is 149 and 130 in his BU career. Looking for victory number 150. He's a guy who knows the Patriot League. He's seen a lot in this league as of late, and he's got one of the better lineups, it seems, for Boston University, leading them into play here today.
Yeah, Coach Jones, a real popular guy, Adam, in the coaching profession. He's just a real fun guy. He spent a number of years with Jay Wright, Villanova, and his teams, especially the last couple of years, been built around Mahoney.
For the Bison, a little bit of a change today for Bucknell. They will play without John Meeks in the starting lineup and play without him, period, here today. So Khalil Spear enters the starting 5 in his place. Jimmy Sotos, Andrew Funk, Avi Toomer, and Bruce Moore, who was our spotlight player earlier, a key to this game for Bucknell. there's a lot of scoring you lose without John Meeks on the floor. He'd taken over the team lead in scoring at 12.3 points per game. His presence on both sides of the floor, you're going to need not just Khalil Spear to overcome that for the Bison, but a number of players.
Well, I think I was talking to Coach Davis earlier, and I think it's a mentality you have to have is you don't have it, so he's not here today, John, and now this is an opportunity for someone. The good thing is it's at home. And I think the energy, and if you're playing some younger kids at home, it's a lot better than going on the road and trying to play without your leading scorer. But this is a great opportunity for some other folks today for Bucknell, and hope he gets well soon because they have one coming on Monday.
Our officials today, Sean Campbell, Rob Sneddon, and Jermaine Rogers for this Patriot League tilt. The Bison come in at 5-4 within conference play. Boston University is 6-3. We'll hit on the standings a little bit from now, but you're looking at Colgate still at the top. Navy, BU, American, Lafayette, West Point, Bucknell, all with winning records in conference play. There's that top team, and then there's just a cluster of teams all chasing after Colgate right now. It's going to be an interesting month of February, certainly trying to determine who's going to get those home games come tournament time.
Well, as you look around the country and you look at any league, right now you have that group there where Bucknell's in it, where there's a whole month of ball play to be played. So you still have 4 road games, 4 home games, and there's a lot that can happen. And the talent in this league is such that I think anybody can get anybody on any night, and it's been proven. So it is going to be a wild February in the Patriot League.
Our opening tip, Bruce Moore taking the tip for the Bison against Max Mahoney. Mahoney is from Basking Ridge, New Jersey. Patriot League All-Conference second team last year, third team the year prior. A couple of times in his career, Patriot League Player of the Week. He's the focal point, but then if you shut him down, you have to worry about McCoy and White and the rest of the Terriers. That is how their season has gone, 12-10, but a winning mark, 6-3 in league play. Bison enter at 9-13. Tip is up and not controlled. Mahoney goes tumbling to the side. He and Moore get a little bit of a laugh.
They only get to do this one time a game anymore, so it's not something they're real good at.
Take 2. Controlled by the Terriers. BU wearing red with white trim. Bucknell in the home whites. Maiden off the right side. Khalil Spear with a hand in his face. No inlet to White. Back around we go.
So you got Toomer on White as a matchup.
And a switch defensively. It favored Boston University. It had Jimmy Sotos picking up Mahoney, but the ball trickles out of bounds. First turnover gives it to Bucknell for the first time today.
Big key with all the switching, Adam, is the ball pressure, and they put good ball pressure on there, and they got the turnover.
Avi Toomer, Khalil Spear, around we go. Andrew Funk to Sotos. Rolls it to the right, swings it to the left. To Avi Toomer. Toomer one-on-one into the lane with McCoy, then backs his way out. 8 to shoot for the Bison. Spear looking inside. Now it's Sotos. Double drive, kick it out. Toomer with one on the shot clock. Hits the side of the rim, and the rebound down into the hands of the Terriers.
Again, I think foul trouble is going to play a key here.
Good inlet, and Mahoney has the first points of the game. Against Loyola, Maryland, had 29 points. He was 11 of 15 shooting from the floor, was Max Mahoney. 10 rebounds. It was his 4th double-double of the season.
Very active, a quick jumper. He has a nose for the ball, a nose for the basket. And amazingly nowadays, he doesn't shoot threes.
Here's Moore driving in, trying to answer, cannot. The rebound goes to Mahoney. 2-0, 90 seconds in.
Yep, good inside take for Bucknell. That's what they want to do.
Drive to the right by McCoy. Backs down Avi Toomer. The shot's no good. The rebound falls into the hands of Bruce Moore, but Toomer's very slow to get up.
Looks like he's okay.
Funk drives into the paint. A little pull-up floater falls in for Bucknell.
Great to see Bucknell taking the ball to the basket, Adam. That's a key, something we've talked about over and over. You have to be aggressive going to basket. You can't settle for threes. Good for Andrew.
White swinging around McCoy. Finds the pick from Mahoney. That switch again puts Jimmy Sotos on Mahoney. And the inlet pass, no contest that time through.
And that's where the trouble comes when you're switching. They really opened the floor. We talked about stretching the floor early. If they stretch and Soto ends up on him all the time in the pocket, Bucknell's gonna have some trouble.
Soto's trying to run his way past. Harper does, but the shot falls errant to the left side. BU comes back the other way. Skip pass over the defense, McCoy. Looking inside for Maton. Mahoney now step back from the foul line, driving in on Bruce Moore, off the glass and in. 6 points in the opening 2.5 minutes, and it's all from Max Mahoney. Moore off to Funk. Had a pick, couldn't get around it. There's Avi Toomer. Lowers the shoulder. Floater up, front side, backside, and falls. Back to a 2-point deficit for the Bison.
They're both trying to establish the inside game real early.
Boston's coming off a victory 92-77 on Wednesday over Loyola, Maryland. 29 points as mentioned for Max Mahoney. They also got 24 from Javante McCoy. And looking inlet for Mahoney and a foul call. Get Avi Toomer with the game's first. See the basket there from Bucknell. Able to make it a 2-point game. Still trying to work it inside to Mahoney. Not a bad game plan for Joe Jones and the Terriers.
That's going to be tough when you have those guards playing him off the switches. You have to put ball pressure. Right there, they put ball pressure on. There's a turnover.
Mahoney gives it up. Soto's back the other way. Off to the top of the key, around we go. Last time out, Bucknell takes out Boston University 82-76. Bison lead the all-time series by 8 at 13-5. Bucket good for the Bison, 6 apiece.
There's Funk taken with Toon on a switch. He's going to have a tough time handling him on the perimeter. Again, can't emphasize enough, going to that basket is really key.
Off the left, White trying to respond. His three no good. Avi Toomer the rebound. Trying to run it back the other way. Look down the floor. Leave it for Funk. Bison will make a change on that next opportunity. We know it's going to take a number of players to try to shut down Max Mahoney. Shot for three is no good. It's going to be Bruce Moore quite a bit, but you'll see Paul Newman try to pick up Mahoney as well. To the lane, bucket and one. That's McCoy headed to the free throw line.
It's so interesting, 16 minutes, we've had 2 3-point shots. That's league play. That's league play. That's where coaches recognize you can't do that on the perimeter.
It's a 2-point lead for the Terriers, 8-6. A little under 5 minutes in on my TV. Bucknell basketball is brought to you by Fairfield. There's a reason why you come here. With every visit, we embrace our customers like family. We're the name you've trusted for over 33 years. Fairfield isn't just any dealership, we're the area's most trusted dealership. Fairfield, for fantastic deals, you're gonna love us. Basketball today here on my TV, also brought to you by Wendy's. We're all about serving up fresh food, even if it means going the extra mile. When you walk through our doors, we do what we can to make everyone feel at home because our family extends through your community. It's an 8-6 lead, Bucknell trailing Boston so far early on here. We get a look at the Patriot League standings on the men's side of things. Colgate just lost, so 7-2, bringing everybody back in the pack a little bit closer. Navy at 6-3, as in is BU, American. Lafayette, Army, Bucknell at 5-4. It was a tough loss on Wednesday. It was an 11 a.m. game for the Bison up at Army, and they drop a 68-59 final. Had a good run, tied the game up, just went cold over the last 4 or 5 minutes of the game, ultimately suffering the loss at West Point.
Yeah, Army, very tough place to play. They always come after you, and some other teams will have trouble up there. Then they turn around the afternoon or the next day, and Colgate loses to Lafayette at home. So that's what I say about the league. There's a lot of things that can go on.
McCoy's free throw no good. Rebound comes down into the hands of the Bison. 8-6. 15:30 remaining here in the opening half. Andrew Funk drives it to the left. Swing it to the left corner. Out of that break, a couple of substitutions onto the floor. Walter Ellis, Xander Rice, Paul Newman for the Bison. Substitution brings Jack Hemphill on the floor for Boston University. They put Mahoney on the bench. White around the right side. Ethan Britton Watts onto the floor as well for Boston University. Out from the outside, good. Fletcher Tynan also onto the floor. 3 swaps on either side.
Well, they both play defense so hard, man to man, and so much switching that you have to have substitutes. There's no amount of resting out there.
Newman, turn around, left-hand jump hook. No. The rebound tips twice, and White comes away with it.
They're getting it deep. He's got to finish that, make it stronger.
Off the left side, McCoy. Missed a change for the Bison as well. Jake Vanderheyden is on the floor. First time that we've seen him on my TV this year.
Yeah, he can shoot the basketball.
Hemphill for 3. Nails it from the left corner. 7-point advantage, 14-10 remaining, and pressure in the whole floor here for Boston University. Watts trying to pick up Xander Rice. Pivot around, Rice will drive into the paint. Off the glass, too strong. Gets his own rebound, tips it back right hand. No, Hemphill the rebound. McCoy, high carry over top of a defender, shot no good, and the rebound to Funk. Andrew Funk stops, pulls back, and brings it to the right side. Looking in for Paul Newman, back out. Ellis to Newman, ball fake out. Pivots around, left, bucket, and one! They'll get Hemphill with the foul.
If not the first, second, go to third time, but they were going to punch it into him, and he's a very good scorer in there. Sometimes he rushes a little bit. He rushed the first 2. That time he took his time and squared up, and I really think their backups will have a tough time handling him in there.
Walter White to the bench. Andrew Petcash in for the Terriers. Jimmy Sotos back onto the floor as Andrew Funk gets his first breather of the night. Shot is up and front side, back no.
Not very friendly, huh?
52% from the line for Newman this season, and he misses that chance to make it a 3-point play. His basket cut it down to a 5-point deficit. Watts off the left side to McCoy. Back to Britton Watts, and around we go. Swinging right.
Bucknell guards are doing a good job pushing their bigs off the block. That's a big thing for.
Baseline, Tynan, shots no good. Newman the rebound. Big battle right now will be Newman and Hemphill.
So much, again, switching that you have to have 5-on-5 and really give ball pressure and be able to help.
Ellis to Rice, has a pick from Newman. Draws the double team, but can't get rid of the basketball. To Walter Ellis, stops the foul line, kick it outside. Vanderheyden. Little baseline jumper, too strong, and a foul call. They're going to get Paul Newman with the foul here. Take a look at our marquee matchup here this afternoon. Walter White, Avi Toomer. We talked in the pregame about Bruce Moore and Max Mahoney, what they mean to this game, but it's going to be other guys factoring in. Avi Toomer, the Bison need a strong game from him today. They need their starters. They need players picking things up, especially with John Meeks out of the lineup. Toomer especially, and Walter White has been really good throughout the course of this season at just under 13 points per.
Well, you talk to the Boston people, and White is a guy that does all the work for them. You saw him, he got a little bunny in here earlier. He'll defend anybody. He can defend 1 through 5, and that's the way the game is going, so he can do that. Same thing with Avi. He's not going to give up much in the post, even to Mahoney. He can still battle you. So defensively, they do that, but the other part to this is the leadership, and that's what Avi brings to this team. And in White's case, he's so active on both ends of the floor, so they're two real keys to this ball game.
So Coach, Walter White was a 2018 all-rookie team player. Then last year, Jonas Harper was an all-rookie league player. It's something that Joe Jones does a lot very well, is get young guys on this all-rookie team. Any number of players, first-year players into the conference, yet they seemingly come consistently from Boston University. Mahoney with the turnaround inside.
Yeah, and that's about player development. Every program, Bucknell is saying you see what you can do as far as stretching their game. And these kids obviously came in as good players that they're freshmen. Now what do they do between your freshman and your sophomore year is a big key.
Khalil Spear drives in, loses the ball, kick it outside. Ellis takes one step inside the arc, and the jumper's good. Bison trail it now by 5 at 15 to 10 as we approach the midpoint mark of this first half.
Coach Davis will love that because he gave up the 3 and took it inside and made it 2, and you don't see that happen a lot. 2-pointers anymore. Everybody. But again, it's league play. You know each other. You're going to have to grind a little deeper in your possessions. These become possessions games.
Brady Watts inside. Mahoney trying to spin around Bruce Moore. Pivots, kicks it outside, shot for 3. Pat Cash hits it.
Well, they double teamed him. Once you double team, you have to give up something, and he was very unselfish and kicked out to a shooter.
Ellis, Zavi Toomer. Toomer trying to work pick and roll, and pick was there, the roll was there, and the ball flies into the stands. We'll take a timeout. 8-point lead for the Terriers. This is Bucknell basketball, courtesy of Learfield IMG College. Bison basketball brought to you by Geisinger, proud to be the official sports medicine and orthopedics provider of the Bucknell Bison. It's part of our commitment to more than 40 university and high school programs across Pennsylvania in communities that we serve. Schedule an appointment at geisinger.org/sports. 18-10, the advantage for the Terriers. You look at the last couple for Bucknell, the loss 68-59. Just prior to that, 98-point outburst against Loyola. The best effort by any team in the league this year is 99 points. The Bison were just barely shy of the 100-point mark against Loyola, but it's back and forth and back and forth. Win, loss, win, loss. It's consistently inconsistent for Nathan Davis right now, that whether it's on the road, whether the struggles because of health, you know, guys are suffering due to illness, and obviously today we're playing without John Meeks. It's tough to find a rhythm, and then when you're just going back and forth and up and down this roller coaster of a Patriot League season.
Well, you have to recognize, too, that, you know, the teams you're playing and when you're playing them, they're also scouting you. And I think Coach is certainly looking at this. You got a couple of home games. You can get on a roll here. If you look at the schedule as it goes down the line, he has a really favorable, as far as home to away, to the strength of the league. So I know they feel they can get on a roll and really be where they need to be. So, you know, very optimistic about it.
Out of the break, Boston University with the basketball. Pet Cash flipped up underneath. Players falling all over the place. Rebound down into the hands of Khalil Spear, and 2 of his teammates were tangled up on the floor. Sotos and Avi Toomer. Toomer struggling right now. A couple of times knocked down here in the opening half of play. Soto slows it down. Drives into a double team, keyed by Mahoney, stepping out. Now Funk for 3, bucket, and the foul.
Yeah. Now
that's off the shot and still hit.
Yeah, that's set up strictly because they took a few to the basket. Here you go. There. That's the end of the replay, but the play was made out front, Soto to Toomer, and no hesitation. He goes right to the corner. And the score right now has to do with Boston's making a few more shots. There's a case where we get Bucknell gets a stop, Bucknell gets a score on the other end, playing very unselfish. But it's set up because of the dribble drive and the penetration. They have Boston on their heels a little bit defensively. That's going to open up the three-point line.
Andrew Funk to the free throw line. 76.7% from the stripe this season. Shot is up and good. 4-point play is complete.
How about him coming out being so aggressive? You know, after he was 1 for 5 at Army, that's a great sign for a young kid to come out and say, you know what, I'm going to be a factor in this ball game.
Coy slides to a stop, kicks it to White for 3. No, rebound goes to Funk. Jimmy Sotos brings it down the floor for the Bison. Off the pick from Spear. Matchup favoring Khalil Spear right now as he goes up against Alex Villarino. Villarino stands 6'2", Spear 6'7". Here's Funk, too strong, rebound to Mahoney. Now Villarino's on the run. Transfer from Texas Tech. He walked on at Texas Tech but didn't play. Just a couple of points in one exhibition game. Left side, McCoy. Around we go. Jonas Harper, inlet pass. Mahoney, bucket, no, but the foul was there and it'll send him to the line. Mahoney from the free throw line this season is a 57% shooter, about the only flaw you could find in this young man's game.
Yeah, it really is. He's awful fun to watch. I'm having trouble sometimes. I'm watching him in a low post, and he really moves without the basketball. He works constantly. It's fun to watch a kid play like that.
At the free throw line, a chance to build this back up to a 6-point advantage. 9:35 left here in the opening half. First free throw's good. 29 points, 11 of 15 shooting just a couple of days ago, a double-double. Last season, he averaged a team best 16.5 points per game. That was 4th overall in the Patriot League. Double figures 28 times, 20-plus points 20 times last season for the Terriers.
They get him in and out pretty quick. They're rotating their guys. It'll be interesting to see who the matchups are because, again, with the switching, they're trying to wear each other a little bit on who are your scorers that are going to be in there.
Mahoney out, Suk Maton back in. Sotos, head fake, ball fake, out to Funk and around we go. Ellis, right side, better head. Trying to shake off a defender, kick it back to Jimmy Sotos, double team. Swing it to the right side, Ellis for 3. No good, the rebound to Villarino.
Tried to get that ball to the weak side as quick as they could.
Kenny, Texas native, dumps it off. No good. Rebound tip, loose. Sotos comes away with it. Suk Maton went to high school up in New Hampshire, but now calls Shavertown, Pennsylvania home. A little bit of a crowd behind the Boston University bench. Here's Villarino, drive past everybody off the glass and in. 8-point lead. Matches the largest of the game for the Terriers. And here's Ellis. Try to corral that pass, and it just halted his momentum. The foot still kept sliding, though. See, off the glass and good easily here for Villarino.
Villarino is a kid that's played for them quality minutes before, and then I believe he got hurt or was out a little bit, and he's just coming back. I think this might be his 3rd game back, but you can tell he has game.
7.5 points per game for the transfer. There's White spinning into the paint, shots blocked, gets it back and puts it off the box and in.
He just made a man play.
10-point lead, largest of the day. Xander Rice, off a Newman pick. Newman gets his knee tangled, couldn't drive out of there. Funk, ball fake, now drives to the baseline. Swing it outside, Ellis, and around we go. Rice. Andrew Funk. Left side, Rice, 8 to shoot for the Bison. Funk wide open for 3. Buries it.
That is deep. Big 3. Bison needed that. Off of penetration and kick out.
Another 3-pointer presented by our friends at Dunkin'. Donating 3 pounds of coffee for every 3-pointer made by the Bison on MyTV this year. Hand check foul here. You get that 3, you stop that run. It's 24-17. Bucknell trails Boston University on MyTV.
First day of February on the Bucknell campus in Lewisburg, Pennsylvania, and the Bison finding themselves trailing by 7. A little shorthanded today. In our player spotlight, we'll take a look at Bison junior forward John Meeks, 6 feet 6 inches, and he just cracked into the starting lineup this season. Leads the team in scoring on the season, but missing today, feeling a little bit under the weather. John is from Burlington, North Carolina, comes from North Carolina with a couple of state championships in high school under his belt, and has done very well here for the Bison as he shoots 85% from the foul line. But in the Patriot League season alone, he is 25 of 26 in free throws. He's only missed 1 in league season all year long. That's 96%. So the Bison are missing John Meeks, but he is a big contributor, is having a great season, and they expect a good second half from him and a great senior year next year. Adam?
Thank you so much, Paul. 24-17 out of the break. The opening 13 minutes, do you notice a difference in the Bison without Meeks in the lineup here today?
Well, you notice it because he's a scorer in that sense, but I really feel like there's some guys on the floor that maybe don't get as many minutes out there. So let's see how that plays out. Vanderheiden is an athlete that they've been trying to get in the game.
Shot for 3, no good. Picked out of the air. Maton with the rebound. Villarino at the top will drive in. Little floater hits.
So yeah, the flow happens because of having John Meeks out of the ball game. But somebody's going to get shots for them and they have kids capable of shooting that basketball. I think it's great. And I think Andrew Funk has really shown with John being out of the game how much more aggressive he's become.
Here's Newman driving in. Spin around jump hook is good. He lost the handle on the ball twice, but still able to corral, muscle his way to the hoop and hit the easy two.
What's great about that is he didn't get discouraged. He missed a couple early, kind of threw it up there. He's gathered himself a little bit now, and now he's having an impact on the inside.
Villarino picked up defensively by Rice. Now McCoy spins, ducks underneath of Newman. Back outside with 12 to shoot. Three-pointers good at the top of the key for Walter White.
If White hits those, they're tough.
6 points on 3 of 6 shooting in Wednesday's victory over Loyola, Maryland. Here's Rice, jump stop into the lane. Vanderheiden, left side. Ellis back off to Andrew Funk. 29-19, back to a 10-point lead. Rice off the glass, bucket and the foul. Xander Rice to the free throw line, the West Long Branch, New Jersey native, the freshman. Held scoreless 10 minutes off the bench in Wednesday's loss, finds his way to the hoop here.
And do all these things happen, you know, as you have your starters, you only have so many minutes, so there's a case where a coach has to be very happy. Rice and Funk have really picked up. Paul Newman has made a few buckets on there, so they're getting some play off some other folks. Where you have a concern is the continuity on defense. There's so much, again, I use the word in nauseum, but that switching guard to guard, big to big, that's the way the game's played. So they got to be able to handle this end too, because Rice is going to end up on Mahoney at times, and he's going to have to battle him as a young kid.
McCoy off of Mahoney pick, switch defensively. Newman keeps the guard, puts Jimmy Sotos
Great
on
ball pressure. That's the only reason Mahoney didn't get the ball.
12 to shoot. Mahoney dumps it off. McCoy will drive left hand, shake off Bruce Moore, and a travel. Took that step back, and that step gives it back to the Bison.
Great defense.
Fourth turnover of the day for Boston University.
Both teams mirror each other so much, Adam, that we're talking both ends. They're trying to play hands high so you can't make the entries when they're open inside. They both can shoot a little bit on the perimeter. And whoever, it's like a smash mouth game. Whoever can get to the basket a little quicker.
Xander Rice's shot just inside the free throw line, no good. Rebound goes to Boston University. Mahoney off the right. Petcash at the elbow, no. Swing it to McCoy now, looking inlet. Newman guarding Mahoney, double team. Somebody's going to be open here. Ball tipped away, picked up by Jimmy Sotos.
Great double team.
Skip past left corner. Rice will drive in. Underneath, tipped out of bounds, and it stays with the Bison.
That was a great double team down in this end by Bucknell. They actually ran Rice at Mahoney from the weak side. As the cutters went, again, high hands, they got a deflection, and that really created the turnover.
Get a look at Joe Jones, 1 win shy of 150 in his career with the Terriers. He's 235 and 238 overall, a couple of stints as an assistant coach at Man at Columbia for a little bit. The left side, Sotos picked up by Mahoney. Toomer has it, back around it goes, Rice.
Now Bucknell has the advantage in the post right now. They're playing two bigs.
Here's Moore, a whistle stops play.
When they play Newman and Moore together, they're doing the same thing Boston's doing with Mouton and Mahoney. They're trying to go high-low and isolate those on somebody in the post area. Just a little extra step there.
29-22, under 5 left here in the opening half. Right side, McCoy. Cash around we go. Ayton left corner. Tynan. Hand check here as Paul Newman's going to catch a piece of him as he tried to turn that corner.
That's what happens.
Newman picks up his second foul. 6th called against Bucknell here today. Walter Ellis onto the floor. Xander Rice out. Newman out as well.
It's just tough to play with two bigs, Adam, when you have so many of these mismatches.
Double team Sotos on Mahoney. Outside it goes. Petcash for 3 again. No good. Rebound Jimmy Sotos. Boxed out well that time.
They boxed out well, and they're also taking the ball out of Mahoney's hands.
Funk plays the elbow, drives in. Little fall away. Shot's no good. Rebound tipped down Mahoney. Knocks it up to McCoy. Stutter step off to Mahoney. Right hand switches over, nice.
He
in the air.
really ran the floor with a head up, soft hands. It's a heck of a basketball play by Mahoney to be able to get that on the run at his size.
He's got 12 of the 31 here in the opening half for Boston University. Trooper left side, Sotos around Ellis. Uses the left hand to try to create some space. Now here's Sotos, baseline stop. Draws Tynan in the air, outside, long three for Funk, no good. The rebound to Javante McCoy. Top of the key, Nathan. Looking inside, now it's Avi Toomer tasked with guarding Max Mahoney.
Two bigs are trying to go high-low, punch it inside.
McCoy into a double team off the glass and in.
Tough shot.
And with that, Nathan Davis wants to take a timeout. 3:20 remaining here in the opening half. It's 33-22 at 11 points. Largest lead of the day so far for the Terriers. Back in a moment on My TV. There's a reason why you come here. With every visit, we embrace our customers like family. The name you've trusted for over 33 years. Fairfield isn't just any dealership, it's the area's most trusted dealership. Fairfield. For fantastic deals, you're going to love us. Adam Marco joined by Coach Pat Flannery. This is a tough week here on the campus of Bucknell University, and especially when it comes to the basketball programs in Soika Pavilion and everything that is Bucknell basketball, as Big Al Urick passed away earlier this week. When we were last on television, you mentioned he was watching, and unfortunately, we lost him this past week. What did he mean to this community?
Well, it started when I came back to Bucknell, and this gentleman was in our gym. I knew his son very well from school, and he started hanging with us. And I say the story, I think he jumped on the bus the first time, and he never left us. And the kids that are out there that are listening, the men now that are players, the outpouring this week from players that said, Coach, Big Al did this and Big Al did that. And one of the favorite things was after a win, he would have the kids in his locker room by himself, and they would chant Big Al. There was a big story to it, and I always loved hearing that. And he'd come out with the biggest smile. You saw what he looks like, just the biggest smile. Had a great life, a wonderful, wonderful family, and just a special guy to the program.
Bison honoring him in a couple of ways here today and for the remainder of the season. Here's Avi Toomer nailing a three from the right corner.
So that's, again, that's such special preparation there as we move. I was saying about changing defenses. Boston came out in 2-3. Coach Davis and Bucknell recognized it right away, got a wide open three. That's part of preparation.
Here's McCoy, drives in, shakes off Sotos, fall away, good. You'll notice on the Bison uniforms, on one side it's the jersey manufacturer, but on the other shoulder strap it's a patch for Big Al. There's an empty chair at the end of the Bucknell bench that is in his honor, will remain empty the remainder of the season. Here's Toomer, drive, stop, kick it outside. Funk, flip underhand. Sotos for three, got it!
Great rotation, real unselfish.
Like that little shovel pass as well from Walter Ellis. Catch, flip it, get the shot to fall. 38-25 in favor of Boston University.
They have four shooters on the floor.
McCoy to Petcash. Two posting up for Boston University. Ball stripped away and going to reach in foul here. Couple of substitutions on the way for the Terriers. White, Britton Watts, and Mahoney all slated to come back in. See Sotos on the three-pointer here. That's another Duncan three. Every three-pointer this season here during our My TV games, Duncan will donate 3 pounds of coffee to the Central Pennsylvania Food Bank.
We talked about Bucknell making open shots, and they have to make them, and they can make them. But what's very encouraging is their unselfishness today. They're really moving the basketball. They're going inside and out.
First free throw up and good for Tynan. Fletcher Tynan is a sophomore from California. 75% from the line. He appeared in 32 games last season, including 6 starts. Second shot, good. Tynan will hit the bench, and Jonas Harper back on for the Terriers.
This has gone pretty much, as I expected coming in here, except
again, Boston's made a few more shots on a couple less turnovers, but this is a grind offensively with both of these teams to get any good looks.
Avi Toomer inside more. Contact, pushed from behind, and he'll head to the free throw line.
It's actually a good foul by the Boston U. There is an obvious situation where that switching of the man-to-man, he ended up on a guard down and a great pass to find him.
Story of this first half from a shooting perspective, Boston University's 15 of 26 from the floor. That's 57.7%. Bucknell is 11 of 27, just a little under 41%.
Yep. And we'll go back to, again, as you look at the ball game, where are the shots coming from? And that's what Coach Davis's biggest concern has been, is what kind of shots are they taking and where are they coming from? And I've been very adamant about when they've taken the open play and made the better pass and made one more, and that's when they're at their best.
7-point deficit, 90 seconds remaining in the half. Shots no good. Mahoney the rebound. Push back off the glass, no. Rebound loose on the floor, a fight for it. And the scrum, it's Ellis.
Bucknell ball.
Bruce Moore's kneecaps trying to hang on to the ball, and Max Mahoney fighting his way in there as well. The possession arrow favors the Bison. See a battle here for the ball, and Mahoney laying on top of it. It's actually the shoes of Bruce Moore was trying to corral with Ellis there as well.
Great hustle on both teams. Play on.
Bison will inbound. 1:21 remaining here. Good opportunity. This was an 11-point game.
Yeah.
Cut this down to a
Finish to
1-2
half
possession.
strong. Yeah, finish to half strong.
So
you don't want to go down. You don't want to go down 10 at half.
Picked up by Britton Watts. Off the pick, double team, ball's loose. Trickles way up to Mahoney. Throws it down. Back to a 9-point lead. 1 minute remaining here in the opening half. Turnover by Bucknell leads to an easy dunk for Max Mahoney.
He really gets up and down the floor.
14 points on 6 of 8 shooting here in the first half of play for the senior. Ellis to Avi Toomer. Toomer finds Funk. Funk drives left into a double team. Sodas left corner. Ellis for 3. Got it!
Those weak side threes are going to be open, no matter of making them and what kind of closeout. That was a good example there.
5th three-pointer of the half for the Bison. Britton Watts gets it past midcourt and calls timeout. It'll allow Petcash to come back in out of this break for Boston University.
Look at how far they stretch this to the 1-2 third pass, and there's a wide open. You can't play the inside people and not give something out on the perimeter. And that's what the open shots, they got to make them, and they've had good looks at them. So Bison land, be positive.
Son of Alfonso Ellis, Walter Ellis hitting 43% from three-point range. It was a nice, easy look from that left wing corner. Able to nail the 3 and bring it back once again to a 6-point game. It'll be Boston ball out of this timeout with just under 30 seconds to go. About a 2-second differential on the shot to game clock. So in theory, the Bison may have one last gas heave at worst case scenario.
Well, two things. One is Walter Ellis is getting more time because he's picked up defensively and he's really bought into it, and he's long and he can defend. As far as the timeout goes, Boston U is going to try to run this down to the point, I imagine, that they want to take the last shot at a half and they don't want it to get up over half court. So I look for something deep in the clock. From Bucknell's point, the key here is just rebound the shot and contest it. Don't give them anything easy.
McCoy leaves it for Harper.
They probably have something for Mahoney here special.
McCoy gets it back. Jimmy Sotos picks him up near midcourt. Down to 15 here in the opening half. McCoy slowing it down. Get a pick from White. Double team, switch defensively. Picks up the ball. 4 seconds to go. And the shot clock expires.
Great defense. Great defense. And now with the shot clock, now Bucknell has an opportunity. They're gonna look to get something deep. You just don't want to turn it over here.
2.6 seconds remaining here in
Got to
the
feel
first
good.
half.
Got to feel good at 6. Just don't turn it over and give them something. This is like an end of game situation.
They add 1 second, 3.6 seconds.
It's kind of interesting. I thought it was 20.
It was 27 and like 29.7-ish.
Right.
Give or take
Right.
a decimal percentage there.
I'm not sure how it gets to 3.6. I wasn't a math major, but I'm not sure it gets to 3.6. But those guys in the gray over there been around a long time.
They're going to take a look on the monitor on the far side of the floor and determine where the numbers should be. I thought 2.6 was right. I thought that was
I did too.
about accurate.
Yeah, I did too.
So the Bison here in the opening half, 5 from 10 from three-point range. And we talked in our very first broadcast of the season against Vermont about the changes in college basketball at the D1 level this year, the men's game especially, moving the three-point line back. In your time watching the game this season, have you noticed a difference? Has it been a change in how teams approach three-pointers? Andrew Funk is shooting from 3, 4, 5 feet from behind the arc anyway. Have you noticed a difference?
Yeah, I think the big difference is, and I think it will come out in the end of the year, is kids that were marginal three-point shooters don't take them anymore. It's just a little bit deeper, a little out of the range. It's a guy like Mahoney knows his range. He knows how far he needs to go out with it. Yeah.
See what the officials ask. They come over and get our take. 2.8, 2.6.
Yeah.
Sure. But it's Bucknell, so no, it's 3.6.
Yeah.
I believe it was 3.6 the whole time.
Those guys have been doing it a long time over there, so I'll defer, all right? I got to live in the community, so I'll defer to their math.
I should have just agreed with 3.6.
But yeah, the three-point shooting, talking about it, I just think it's one of those things.
Back to 2.6 on the clock.
Again, just don't turn it over. If you get something, nobody's going to get something going to the basket. It should be a. They got a shot at it.
Bruce Moore just inside the arc and wide to the left. Had the look, had a little bit of time to dribble thanks to that 2.6 seconds. We head to the break. It's 39-33. Bucknell trails Boston on MyTV.
Halftime at Soika Pavilion, where the Bucknell Bison are taking on the Boston University Terriers. And an important day here at Bucknell, trying to do a good thing for some good people. I'm joined by Cole and Mindy, and they're part of the Duncan three-point challenge. And first, Cole Henry of the Mike Bauer local Duncan franchises from northeastern Pennsylvania. So how does it work that Duncan is supporting the Central Pennsylvania Food Pantry?
So they're doing an initiative for any regionally televised Bucknell basketball games. For every time the men's basketball team hits a three-pointer, Duncan will donate 3 pounds of coffee to the food bank of Central PA.
All right, so that's very nice, and this is our third game broadcasting this year. We've seen a three-pointer or two today. We hope for some more three-pointers. And why is the Central Pennsylvania Food Pantry something that the local Duncan franchise by Mike Bauer wants to support?
Well, they just support our local communities, and they've been working together for a while, so it's just great that they reach out to our communities and support us.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for doing that. Thanks to Duncan. Of course, we all love the coffee at Duncan as well as the donuts, and I'm joined also by Mindy Lyon of the Central Pennsylvania Food Pantry. So what will this contribution for Duncan do for the Central Pennsylvania Food Bank?
It'll definitely help us and feed some more needy families in our service area. So we're really appreciative to Duncan for the partnership.
Okay. So what's the range and the region of the Central Pennsylvania Food Bank? They're located around here, and how big of an area do they help, and what do they do to help people?
Sure. So we have 2 healthy food hubs, one in Williamsport and one in Harrisburg. We cover a 27-county area. We're the largest food bank in Pennsylvania, so we basically serve healthy food to individuals that are experiencing some distress financially and helping them to put food on their tables.
Okay, and what's the relationship been like with Duncan?
It's been awesome. We're really thrilled with this initiative, and also with the individual franchise owners. They choose to support us in an ongoing way, and we're just super appreciative.
Okay, so thank you, Mindy Lyon of the Central Pennsylvania Food Bank. Thank you, Cole Henry from the Mike Bauer local Duncan franchises, and we appreciate your help. And let's go, Bison. Let's start knocking down those three-pointers. All right, stay with us. We'll have more halftime when we come back, but you're watching college basketball on my TV, WQMY. And halftime continues here courtside at Soika Pavilion as the Bison try to catch up to the Boston Terriers. Well, let's not talk about basketball. Let's switch the subject right now to lacrosse. I'm joined by the new women's lacrosse coach here at Bucknell. Jackie Dando comes over from Lebanon Valley College and just hired over the winter here. So getting into the swing of things, what was it about this position here that appealed to you that you wanted to come and coach the Bison?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been very much a whirlwind in the last month, but it was just such an amazing opportunity to coach outstanding student athletes at a high level, and just an opportunity I had to pursue, and I'm really thankful to be selected as the next women's lacrosse coach, and I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, well, you had so much success in winning. You're coming off of a conference championship at Lebanon Valley, but you were only hired a couple of months ago, so that probably put you a little bit behind in just planning, getting to know the players. What have the last couple of months, or actually month and a half, been like?
Yeah, so I had 1 week in the office, and then we started season, so it was a really quick turnaround, but I think there's a ton of excitement with the team and with our coaching staff to make changes right away. We're going to try and lay the foundation for the program to start and then continue to build for years to come.
Okay, and you're from Westchester, and you coach at Lebanon Valley. You're a Pennsylvania lady. Your team coming back, you're starting a week from today. Saturday will be your first game. What do you know about your players? You're pretty veterans, a lot of seniors, but what does your team look like at this point?
Yeah, I mean, we've been trying to figure out what are our strengths, what's going to be our highlights for this season. And I think to start with, we got to talk about our goalies. We have 2 goalies, a junior and a sophomore, who are playing phenomenal. So if they can be the backbone of the defense, I think that can be a great start for us. We have senior defenders, we have outstanding midfielders, working on cleaning up turnovers, and also some veteran attackers up top and behind. So I think they have a well-balanced team. They're working hard, and we look for them to keep stepping up this season.
All right, that's great. We wish you the best of luck. Can you think of any other coach that went from Lebanon Valley to Bucknell and had a lot of success?
I might know one. He's to my right, Pat Flannery.
Pat Flannery came from Lebanon Valley to Bucknell. So thank you, Jackie Daniel. Congratulations on the job. Best of luck. And we'll be back with Adam and Coach Flannery to wrap up halftime. You're watching college basketball on my TV, WQMY.
It's halftime, 39-33. Bucknell trails Boston University here on my TV. Our friends from Learfield IMG College presenting today's broadcast. First half favoring the Boston University Terriers, but Bucknell made a run. It was an 11-point game at one point in time, but the Bison closed that gap down within 6, in part because of some big three-pointers. 5 three-pointers in the opening half of play, and courtesy of our friends at Duncan, the Central Pennsylvania Food Bank will get 3 pounds of coffee for every three-pointer. Now, we were doing some math with the clock at the end of the first half. 3 pounds of coffee, 5 three-pointers. This one I can do. We do not need the officials to review. That's 15 pounds of coffee to be donated to the Central Pennsylvania Food Bank. And I believe that runs our total this year up to 51 pounds of coffee to the Central Pennsylvania Food Bank. First half dominated by a couple of guys. Of course, we knew Max Mahoney was going to be a big part of this offensive tally. Mahoney, 14 points in the opening half of play, 14 of the 39, and Bucknell was paced in the opening half by Andrew Funk with 11 points, but it was really, Pat, right near the end of that first half where other players were starting to get in. So you see the three-pointer from Rice. You see Jimmy Soto starting to pick things up. Funk was really pacing the Bison to get them through the mid 10-minute stretch of that opening half of play. Is that where this game goes? Is that where the Bisons need to rely? Is it still Funk? Do they spread this scoring out?
Well, the good thing about it is the kids that were taking the shots for Bucknell are the ones that are makers. The right kids were in the right position. They were finding the right people. Encouragement for Bucknell also, if Hempful and Patash don't hit those threes coming off the bench, it's probably a one-point game. So in my mind, Bucknell's going to the right people are taking the shots for them, and they've only given Harper one look at the basket, who's a three-point shooter for Boston U. The other thing that's really happened, and I think they've done a great job, I know he had 14 Mahoney, but he had them early, and they're doing a great job of pressuring their guards so that they can't look in there, and they're pushing them off the block. So if they can continue to do that, it'll be interesting to see what Coach Jones adjusts to try to get Mahoney closer to the basket, and also to see if Bucknell continues to drive the ball to find the people in the perimeter, because that's really when they're at their best, when they're attacking.
Max Mahoney had 6 points, the first 6 points for Boston University over the opening 4 minutes, and then held to 8 the other 14 minutes, 16 minutes he was out on the floor from that opening half of play. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from the first half, and we'll tell you about some of the numbers as well. You see Andrew Funk with the dribble drive penetration here early on. Outside one of Rice's threes. This was a big three plus the foul, a 4-point play for Andrew Funk. Newman, a little turnaround, draws the contact. The Bison shooting 43% from the floor in the opening half of play. The difference, the spread of 6 points, the fact that Boston University is 16 of 29 in the first half, 55%. They were near 60 for the bulk of that first half of play. Not that they went cold in the final 5 minutes of the first half, but they just slowed down a bit, and the defensive pressure picked up quite well for the Bison.
Well, Boston University on the season is 1-7 when they've scored under 70 points. So I know that was a target they were looking at. Now, with the 40 right now, what it says to me is not the points necessarily, but Boston U's a team that needs to get some points going up and down. Like Mahoney's last basket was a breakaway off a turnover. It wasn't in the half-court set. So Bucknell will continue to try to get them into a half-court game for sure in the second half. And at the same time, the Boston University is going to try to play these perimeter shooters, and I really think that's an advantage for Bucknell. They have deeper and they have more range.
You see the halftime stats here, the field goal percentage, shooting percentage for the teams. It favors Boston, the lead as such. A couple extra threes for Bucknell. All things considered, that was a really clean opening 20 minutes of basketball. Not a whole lot of turnovers, not a whole lot when it comes to fouls. You see each team to the line 5 times, 5 shots in that opening half. That was a really clean, well-played first half.
Oh, Adam, I as a basketball fan and junkie, I really enjoyed it. They looking at what they were trying to do to each other, the coaches taking away what they needed to, even to the point where Boston U went with Villarano to try to get McCoy to the off guard, so they used him at the point a little bit to change up, the same way Bucknell went to Paul and Moore at one point to go high-low. So a lot of great stuff going on out here today. So this will be a dynamite 20 minutes.
Terriers with the basketball to start us off in the second half. McCoy, Mahoney, Harper, Mayton, and White, the 5 on the floor. Ball tipped away, and Sotos is going to get called for a foul here. He thought he had a turnover with a clean steal. Khalil Spear, Bruce Moore, Jimmy Sotos, Andrew Funk, and Avi Toomer, the 5 on the floor for the Bison as the second 20 starts. Foul called against Sotos. McCoy to inbound Mayton. Draws a double team, and now the switch. Spear out on McCoy. White will back it off. Swing it around to Harper. Bison used the space with the ball on the far side of the floor to switch back defensively. Catch a break there. Mayton underneath. Mahoney easily just before the shot clock would expire.
Well, that hurts. Get down to 1 second.
41-33, 40 seconds into the second half of play.
Oh.
Foul here. Bruce Moore nearly lost the ball, but they're going to get the call against Moore. It's been a clean half of play for Max Mahoney. There's not a whole lot he's done wrong. Hasn't picked up a foul. He played 13 minutes in the first half out of the 20.
Yeah, most of his was rested, just giving him a blow because he plays so hard.
McCoy to Mayton, guarded by Spear. Pivot around, slings it one-handed to the corner for 3, and it's good.
In my big mouth. We found Harper right there off of the big kid. Mattoon. We're trying to use Mattoon to throw the ball into Mahoney.
Toomer around to Spear. In the corner, baseline by Khalil Spear. Double team, loses the ball. It's stripped away, just pickpocketed by Jonas Harper. After McCoy, now inlet, ball tipped. Sprawling out to knock it away from Mahoney. Bruce Moore to the ground, gets the fingertips on it, knocks it aside. Inbound here for Boston University in the right corner. Boyd inbound, looking for somewhere to go. Goes high, Mahoney leaves it off McCoy. Defensive switch, Moore out on McCoy. Step away at the foul line and it hits.
He got isolated on Moore out front.
Long pass, McCoy, rather Moore, bucket and foul, no. We'll see what they call here. It might be the first foul against Max Mahoney.
Good heads up look, pitching ahead. Bruce Moore ran the floor very well.
See the replay here, and it is the first foul called against Mahoney. Non-shooting foul. Funk around to Sotos. Long skip pass, Spear. In the corner for three. Off the rim, no good. Rebound, McCoy. It's a 4-on-2 break. Walks his way into the lane, flings it up and gets it to fall. And with that, Nathan Davis wants a timeout. It's a 9-0 run to start the second half for Boston University. Their 6-point lead has grown. 48-33. We'll take a timeout as well here on MyTV. Bison basketball brought to you today by Fairfield. There's a reason why you come here. With every visit, we embrace our customers like family. We're the name you've trusted for over 33 years. Fairfield isn't just any dealership. We're the area's most trusted dealership. Fairfield. For fantastic deals, you're going to love us. Bison basketball is also presented by Office Depot Office Max. At Bucknell, there's only one way to gear up for college at prices any Bison can appreciate. Shop at Office Depot Office Max, the official office product supplier for Bucknell Athletics. 48-33. Just a little under 2 minutes into the second half as take a look back. The waning moments of that first 2-minute run here. 9 points the opening 2 minutes in the second half as Boston has built a 15-point edge.
Well, what happened, they come out of the locker room, the 2 minutes, Boston did a better job than Bucknell did on their game plan. And what I mean is they did a better job with their entries. They did a better job taking away their shooters, like they gave Harper a look. And the shot selection. Bucknell's shot selection in the first 2 minutes hasn't been great. Spears is going to be open for a reason. And Boston used just these first couple minutes, but fortunately there's 18 minutes to go.
The Terriers in the opening minute 55 are 4 for 4 from the field.
Yeah, the worry, there's trying to drive. The concern to me
Ball tipped around Avi Toomer.
is it's a 19-12 rebounding advantage for Boston. You're going to have to battle on the boards a little bit more. You're not going to be able to just live and die with jump shots. You got to start to muck it up a little bit more.
Corner shot no good for Andrew Funk. BU comes away with the basketball. McCoy, Mayton looking inside. He'll take it to the hoop himself. Pivot around, lost his defender, and his shot's easily in.
They brought Mouton high to give him some room down there.
Sotos loses the ball, tipped out, and it's last touch by Bucknell. Change here as Paul Newman will come in and Khalil Spear will head to the bench. 17-point advantage, 17:08 remaining here in the game. Walter White inbounds. Coach Joe Jones calling out the alignment offensively, what he wants to see on this possession. Mahoney grabs it with his left hand, hands it off. McCoy pivots around, has no look. Shot's no good. The rebound into the hands of Andrew Funk. Listen back the other way. Sotos for three. Got it. Top of the key with McCoy in his face. Big shot, big make for Jimmy Sotos. Here's McCoy. Leave it off for White. White finds Harper. Around a double team. Into the lane, easily off the glass. Sotos just had to back off as to not pick up a foul.
Too easy.
Jimmy Sotos trying to answer. Takes the double team down underneath the hoop. Now hard pass inside. Newman, one dribble, off the glass, no. Rebound, Mahoney. Spikes it off the floor to himself. Terriers on the move again. Mahoney, swing it to the right side. White fakes the three, drives past Funk. Swatted! Mayton comes down with the ball, up, down. And what's the call? Officials will converge, decide either foul or travel.
Inadvertent whistle, probably. It was a loose ball. I don't know why he blew the whistle, but I'll give him credit if they say they made a mistake.
Timeout taken by Bucknell, 15:55 remaining in regulation. 52-36. Bison trail on my TV.
And a Saturday afternoon in the winter in Lewisburg, Pennsylvania, sees Boston leading Bucknell by 16 points here in the second half. So the upcoming road for Bucknell does not get any easier. We are now into the month of February, final month of the regular season. We'll take a look at what's coming up. First of all, on Monday, Lafayette will come in here into Soika Pavilion. Then a week from today, February 8th, Bucknell is at Loyola. That is the last place team in the Patriot League. Then a trip to Navy on February 12th. American comes in on February 15th. They've already beaten Bucknell once this season. A couple of road games then, February 17th at Holy Cross, February 23rd at Lehigh, home on the 26th against first place Colgate, and then 3 of the last 4 games are away, finishing on the road on February 29th, Leap Day, against this very same Boston University team. So right now, Bucknell is in 5th place in the Patriot League, but a loss today could drop them lower than that. Final month of the season is here, and Bucknell has a tough road ahead of them. Adam?
Thank you so much, Paul. 52-36 with 15:55 to go. Nathan Davis taking a second timeout in the opening 5 minutes of this second half. Trying to slow the Terriers' pace down. Instill some life into the Bison. Jack Hemphill. Off to McCoy. Inside White. With a 3-man game right now with Mahoney onto the bench. Hemphill get around. Good look to White. Wide open for the slam.
Pass and hit to a cutter. Been interesting to see how Boston U holds up here defensively. They've been a 2-3 zone team for a long time, and Coach Jones has committed to man this year, and they look much better guarding the basketball. We'll see how they do as this goes along.
Jimmy Sotos takes it to the basket. The deficit still remaining at 16. 15-5 here in the second half so far.
Got to really concentrate on the defensive end when you're down like this. It's a good turnover.
Sotos, step back behind the arc, will roll to the left, swinging right side, Andrew Funk. Funk guarded by White. Newman inlet to Moore. Moore, little contact, and the ball stolen away. Spiked off of Funk, and out of play it goes.
Weak side help came from McCoy deep on the side. There's a case where a little skip pass to the corner. That's what you have to read, and they just missed it a little bit, but they were concentrating on getting the ball into Moore. But I like the idea that they're trying to go inside, because you're gonna have to get some inside presence.
Points in the paint have been a huge story here so far today.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was that last time out, 32-12 we read, and a lot of it has to do with Mahoney, but they also have committed to Hemphill as well. They've thrown it into him a few times too. It just gives you a balance.
Mahoney leads all scorers with 16 points. He's also sitting on 9 rebounds. White drives. Pass to Hemphill. Hemphill trying to fight his way off of Paul Newman, and does. Gets the basket. 18-point game. Sotos drives right, steps back, swinging out Funk. Now Khalil Spear.
Got to play together here.
Ellis, inlet pass, Newman. Trying to back down Hemphill. Ball knocked in the air. Back to Paul Newman. One dribble and a travel call. Travel steps right into Hemphill. Turnover by the Bison. Few and far between today. It's just been lights out shooting. 56-38, 14 to go. White left side off to Tynan. Tynan will drive in. His right foot slid, no travel called. Hemphill jump stop in the lane. Jumpers up and good. Rebound loose. If only for a second. White lost it. Picked up by the Bison. Jimmy Sotos fouled here by.
Well, The good thing as we go along here, Adam, is, we've talked about this all year, but there's 14 minutes left. And the thing about the game nowadays is the runs. There's so many runs. And you're down a little bit right now, but you got 14. And because of the three-pointer and because of the shot clock, you're going to get possessions. What it becomes, though, you have to make the defensive possessions count. You can't be giving Boston easy baskets.
Mahoney's back onto the floor. There's Andrew Funk. Trying to dribble around, loses the ball, tipped out of bounds, and it's last touch by the Bison.
There's a case, again, of all the things we're talking about. Mahoney, again, not to put him in the Hall of Fame, but he moved his feet there on a guard and made him turn the corner and made it tough for him with Al Fallon. That's really a big-time play. I think Newman and Meeks have also done a good job with that over the year. They've gotten better.
Petcash looking for Mahoney, trying to fight off Bruce Moore, throwing elbows, trying to spin around, and they'll get Moore with the foul.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on out here. That charge down at that end, he really got drilled, Mahoney.
And after the fact, Mahoney slammed his hands together as Newman was walking away. And I think all three officials had at least something to say to Mahoney to tone it back and just a notch or five.
Right.
Baseline takes it off the glass and in for two.
Well, that's a heck of a response.
They're
all doing a lot of talking to each other.
20-point lead for the first time. Xander Rice, inlet for Newman, cuts baseline, Newman, blocked by Mahoney. Ball loose on the floor, picked up by Boston University. McCoy, right side, Petcash for three, dagger. And with that, Nathan Davis will take another timeout.
Got Mahoney a little riled up there. That's an all-league player that you're going at. You got to do something to be able to go at a guy like that.
61-38, 12:46 remaining. See the replay here. Ball loose on the floor.
Good decision not running him over.
Wide open space for Petcash in the corner.
He hit one in the first half. He's a good spot-up shooter, and that's knowing your abilities.
You see Mahoney, Moore, Newman getting a little bit chippy here. It's a comfortable advantage right now for the Terriers, unfortunately for the Bison, for the fans here at Zoika.
But you have to remember, Adam, Bucknell, has been the cream of the league. And when they come in here, it's the best place in the league to play. Kids look forward to it. Boston U hasn't won down here. I don't know when was last, but they're fighting. These are the middle of the pack teams, and they're fighting for that 1 and 2.
Here's Rice. Off the pick, double team ball tipped away. Britton Watts, right hand off the glass and in.
They're backing him up off the dribble.
Talk about being the cream of the crop when it comes to Patriot League play. Sitting on 299 wins in conference action. 299 and 126 all time in the Patriot League. It's the best of any possible team within the league. The next closest is Holy Cross with 237 wins. I mean, this has been a Bucknell-dominated league. So I get the point, and I understand the emotion behind it when you come on the road and you want to win here. Teams, this is a benchmark game for teams if they can come down here and win.
Absolutely.
Here's Toomer. Toomer will throw it up as time is expiring. Didn't find the rim, and it's a turnover by Bucknell. Timeout on the floor, 63-38, 11:55 left in regulation. The Bisons trail on MyTV. Geisinger is proud to be the official sports medicine and orthopedics provider of the Bucknell Bison. It's part of our commitment to more than 40 university and high school athletic programs across Pennsylvania in communities we serve. Schedule an appointment at geisinger.org/sports. We've talked a lot about what's going on in the Patriot League on the men's side of things. The Bucknell women's team, the class of the Patriot League on the women's side, 8-1 within conference play. They are up in Boston, taking on the Terriers today. Colgate at 6-3, Lehigh 5-4, but what a run it has been for the women's team so far this season. From the outset of the year, and they just suffered their first loss just a couple of days ago in conference play.
Yeah.
They've really put together a fun season.
Well, it's been fun to watch, and they certainly play a great brand of ball. It's been built, around their defense, and they can score on people. They have good skill, the gals do. And it's interesting, their league, because Colgate, who was at the bottom of the league for a long time, is now in second place, and Army and Bucknell were the cream of the crop, and now Army's sitting at 1-8. So it fluctuates in the Patriot League from top to bottom.
See the shooting percentages, where we're at, thanks to a phenomenal second half here by the Terriers. They'll have a push here, called against Vanderheiden. This second half, we've played 8 minutes and 16 seconds. 24-5 favoring the Terriers in the second half of play. That's the run.
Yeah. And you can't say it's by mistake, in the sense that they've gone to their horses. They're playing within themselves, and they have really defended in man.
There's Tynan, ball stripped away by Avi Toomer. Off to Pet Cash for three, no good. Andrew Funk is the only one home for the rebound. 63-38. Toomer cuts baseline. Bounce pass in. It's tipped away by Pet Cash and stolen away. Tynan up the floor. Mahoney. Catch, turn, shoot, no. Upended. Two on the floor. They'll help each other up slowly. And now Avi Toomer in a 4-on-4 game. Both players trying to run back down the floor to get involved.
Good sportsmanship, though. Left
side Toomer. Open for three. And he got it. Three-ball corner pocket for Avi Toomer.
He's got to look for that a little bit more. It's a tendency to shoot the ball, in those kind of situations. They need to get him some of those looks out of the flow of the offense.
Mahoney faked the jumper just inside the arc. Leaves it for Jonas Harper. Around we go. Villarino drives on Sotos. Sotos tipped the ball out of his hands, and the foul is called. Jimmy Sotos will pick up the personal foul. That'll be his third.
Calling it on the floor.
Take a look on this penetration here. Villarino, and you see Sotos. That was, to me, clean.
Yeah, that looked like a good one.
But the angle that the official had, he sees the contact come through, the ball flip out.
You're the aggressor. You're on your heels. The defense, he's taking it at him, and you're taking it to the basket.
Non-shooting foul. Villarino to inbound to Pet Cash. And that easy jumper is up from 12 feet.
Great execution. I didn't see them run the Pet Cash out of bounds, and that was specifically for him on a double curl. So they have some inbounds for each of their guys.
Vanderheiden off to Avi Toomer. Toomer drives it to the right side. We'll hand it off to Andrew Funk. Funk, top of the key, Sotos. Little crossover, swing it left. Vanderheiden back outside. Funk had it off his fingertips. Villarino was there, and that traffic, Funk can't hold on to the ball. Turnover by Bucknell.
Yeah, they got to get their body language up a little bit better here. They got to start reacting, and every turnover is catastrophic here to this white team. Got to play through it and look at the score right now. Nothing, and play each possession. It's the only way you're going to get back in it.
Taking a look at the basketball here and whether or not we need to swap out and get a new ball.
Deflategate with the big game tomorrow.
Taking the air out of the ball. Is
big
that
game tomorrow.
Slowing it down.
You never know.
It'll be a fun one.
Yeah. So come on, tell me who some of the most famous Boston U alumni are.
Okay.
Did a little research.
Okay.
So Bill O'Reilly, Jason Alexander, one of my all-time favorite guys.
George Costanza.
Howard Stern.
I've heard of him.
And then I got to go with Marissa Tomei. They must have a real theater and acting school up there. They have quite a few stars, and then Rosie O'Donnell is one I pulled.
So when I was younger, I was looking at Boston University from a communications perspective.
Yeah,
that
big
communication. It was a big communication school. There were some other schools that I looked at, but my parents wanted me to stay within 2 hours of the Pittsburgh area.
Mama's boy.
Yes. And that's fine. I'm perfectly fine with that.
Adam, I went an hour away from school, so if anybody's a mama's boy, it's me.
I have no issue with that whatsoever.
You're right. That was pretty good feeding, wasn't it?
It was.
To get home on those weekends.
It still take care of me to this day. So
yeah, good. And you didn't go to Boston?
I did
Why?
not. I ended up going to within 2 hours of Pittsburgh. It was a little too far.
All right. Well, you obviously excelled, so congratulations.
Thank you. It was mostly my mom and dad's doing. Boston out of this break with the basketball. On the move, quickly. Off that inbound. Harper, left side, Villarino. Drives it to the corner of the foul line, swing it back around. Mahoney's to the bench on this break now. 65-41. 9 to shoot. White, skip pass over the defense. Villarino looked at the three. Soto steps out. Little pull-up jumper, hits it.
Their team and individual skill is very good at the pull-up jumper and all their guards. They get into the paint and they lift, and they have good lift.
Sizable lead, but Harper's playing full court on Jimmy Sotos. Sotos off the pick, swing it to the right side. Andrew Funk. Funk takes left hand to the foul line. One hard dribble. Pass to defender, shot just doesn't fall.
I think that's his first shot this half.
Ton there for the rebound. Fake the three and get called for the travel. 9:06 remaining, 67-41. Substitution here as Avi Toomer back onto the floor. Andrew Funk is out. So the replay here from Villarino, just that easy jumper. And after Sotos was called for the foul the last time, you see Jimmy just back off this time, give space. Ball loose on the floor. Petcash gives it up. Right corner, Sotos. Fakes to the baseline. Back and forth, trading the turnovers. Now Bruce Moore with 20 to shoot. Ellis off to Toomer. Right side Sotos, and will have contact away from the ball. We'll get Soup Matone the foul. You mentioned big game coming up tomorrow. It's on our sister station on Fox. Who do you like? Niners, Chiefs?
I like the Chiefs. I'm a big coach guy, so obviously, so whoever the coaches are, I look a lot at every sport, and love Andy Reid. He was an Eagles guy, but also a young man in Mount Carmel I got to know or meet when I was out in Kansas City game by the name of Veach. Was a heck of a player at Mount Carmel. A young man's their general manager, so we have a little coal region flavor, and any coal region flavor. It's why I drink Yingling. I always support the coal region.
Here's Toomer, off a deflection, gets it back, 8 to shoot. Soto, started by White. Will take it to the hoop, try to draw a foul, then fall away and hit.
Heck of a defense and heck of an offense.
8:15 left here. White to the near side, off to Petcash. One-hand touch pass, Mayton. Baseline. Harper has the ball swatted, tipped out, last touch by the Bison. Mahoney, McCoy coming back onto the floor as Petcash will take a seat, as will Soup Matone.
You get a lot of guys that start to play when you're up like this. It feels pretty good when you're on the other side and on the lead. Guys are looking to score.
Mahoney sitting at 18 points, still on 9 rebounds. Villarino off to McCoy, guarded by Avi Toomer. Harper, pass to Mahoney. Ball fake, lose Toomer. Now 3 to shoot. Back outside, Harper for 3. Shot's no good. Rebound goes to Jimmy Sotos. Who looked at a long 3. Good decision not to take it. Now here's Ellis for 3. No good. The rebound goes to White. Mahoney was trying to get there for his 10th board.
Well, it's a little different now. You have to take some threes if you're going to get back in this, so they're going to have to spread this wide, and Boston obviously is taking the air out of the ball a little bit.
Again. Just kidding.
They found the needle.
Here's McCoy. Inlet to Mahoney.
There's your security blanket right there.
Guarded by Moore, back outside. McCoy for a long 3, and it's good.
That kid inside is so hard to handle, Mahoney. He just makes everybody around him so good.
Jimmy Sotos, double teamed. Vanderheiden, left side, Toomer. Toomer for three to answer, can't. Rebound, stays elevated for McCoy. And look at Jimmy Sotos with the foul here. McCoy was going behind the back trying to shake that defender. 6:45 left, 70-43 in favor of the Terriers. Bison basketball today is brought to you by Wendy's. We're all about serving up fresh food, even if it means going that extra mile. When you walk through our doors, we do what we can to make everyone feel at home because our family extends through your community. Bison coming into play here today at 5-4 in Patriot League play. Boston University is at 6-3. It's shaping up for a 5-5 mark right now. Day one of February for Bucknell. We looked with Paul a little bit earlier about the upcoming schedule, including Lafayette on Monday night. They entered play today at 5-4 as well. So there's going to be some jostling over the next couple of weeks. It's going to be the first time in a while that the Bison will have dropped back-to-back games. They've really been pivoting, win-loss, win-loss. This is a little bit different, though, because this is a Boston team that has really taken it to Bucknell with phenomenal shooting and such little turnaround between now and Monday to try to come back from this and not let the emotions of this game, the actions of this game, dictate what happened 48 hours from now.
Well, these kids haven't been in this position where they're usually up in that 1-2, and now they're fighting for positioning. I think having John Meeks out will give them a little confidence to say, hey, we get our full roster back. I'm sure Coach feels that way. But at the same time, they're going to have to play better. They're going to have to continue to go inside and out. And I'll tell you what, this Boston University team has been impressive today, though.
Mahoney drives, left hand off the glass, no good. The rebound goes to Xander Rice. Just under 6.5 left. Rice goes left side, Toomer. Toomer inlet to Newman. Couple of hard dribbles, trying to battle against Mahoney, shake him off the glass and in. Bucket good for Paul Newman. 6 points here today on 3 of 7 shooting. Harper finds Mahoney. Very tight coverage there defensively by Newman. Now inlet, White loses a defender off the glass and in.
Yeah. Big body. Sophomore out of Connecticut.
72-45. Rice pull up, loses the defender, kicks it right side. Vanderheiden for 3 over everything, and Mahoney has his 10th board. There's the double-double. Off the glass and easily in. 5th double-double this season for Max Mahoney. Rice outside Funk on the run for 3. Off the rim, no good. Rebound out to Avi Toomer. Toomer dumps it underneath. Ball stolen away by Harper. Long pass up the floor. Britton Watts stolen back by Funk. Can he keep his footing? He does. No need for Boston to force the issue to fight after the ball. Vanderheiden off to Toomer. Toomer looked at the pass, takes the 3 and hits it. Another Duncan 3. 8 of 19 in the game from 3-point range for Bucknell. Pass off to Mahoney. Guarded by Newman, keeping the ball very far away from the body. Leave it outside. Harper tries to answer. His 3-point attempt, no good. Rebound, Andrew Funk. Rice. Vanderheiden posting up inside, guarded by McCoy. Doesn't go. Now Toomer drives, pivot around, ball is loose, gets it back. Draws the defender in the air, no. Grabs his own rebound, put back is there for Avi Toomer. $13 points, it's a game high for the Bison. Toomer's 5 for 11 from the floor, including 3 for 7 from 3-point range. To the right side, Britton Watts, now Mahoney, and around we go. McCoy on the wing. Pull-up jumper just inside the foul line. Too strong. Rebound, Mahoney. He's got a triple team around him. A couple little bunny dribbles out of there. They'll slow it down. 14 to shoot. It took him about 5 after the rebound to get it out of the paint. Britton Watts bounce pass baseline, and the ball kicked by Paul Newman. 3:32 left here in regulation. 74-50, Bucknell trailing Boston University on MyTV. Bison basketball brought to you today by Fairfield. There's a reason why you come here. With every visit, we embrace our customers like family. With a name you've trusted for over 33 years. Fairfield isn't just any dealership, we're the area's most trusted dealership. Fairfield, for fantastic deals, you're gonna love us. 74-50 with 3:32 left in regulation here at Soika Pavilion on MyTV. Take a look at Nathan Davis talking to his bench right now in this timeout. This has been a game dominated by Boston University within the paint. The Bison are being outscored 46-18 in the paint. The shooting numbers in the first half for Boston University were great, 55.2%. They're better in the second half. They're at 61.5%. The Bison were 43% first half and just under 37% shooting from the floor in the second half. A lot of this is Mahoney inside, but that being said, 46 points. He's got 18 of those 46. It's become a balanced attack inside, not just their senior leader.
Well, Coach says, Jones, when they're at their best, they got 4 guys that can really score. And it's the kind of thing we mentioned about Mahoney is he's just so effective in so many ways that you have to play him. And he's the force that maybe with John Meeks out of there, Bucknell just didn't have today. But makes such a difference in what he's doing.
Ball loose on the floor, tipped away by Xander Rice. The possession arrow favors Bucknell on the jump ball. John Meeks is out with an illness today. Status for Monday remains to be seen. There was an opportunity, it seemed, that he could play today, but a couple, half hour before game time, ultimately the decision made to hold him back, not play him here today. He's on the bench, resting through this one. At a 24-point game, Meeks might not make that whole difference, but it does change the complexion of this game. Here's Avi Toomer, bucket and the foul.
Yeah, it definitely makes a difference, and I'm not going to start at 3 minutes talking, John Meeks, absolutely. You'd be crazy not to, not to bring it. And with that being said, I think because of the number of things that he does for the team, it opens up more, and it just didn't seem like they got a lot of looks on the perimeter today, and that's what John Meeks does. He forces you to have to play him on the perimeter. You don't have to play Bruce or Paul on the perimeter. So that really allowed Boston U to tighten up a little bit. But with that being said, and this at this point right now, it's good to see them battling. But at the same time, as I mentioned, this Boston U team scored in a lot of different ways, but it always seemed to go through Mahoney.
And Phil, ball tipped away, stolen by Bruce Moore, 3-on-1. Toomer, bounce pass back to Moore, throws it down. Timeout taken by Joe Jones. 74-55, but the biggest highlight of this second half for the Bison is Bruce Moore with the steal, run the floor, get it back, and slam it home. See Toomer here, left hand off the glass. That got him to the foul line last time. And then Bruce Moore on the next possession coming back the other way. Little strip steal, work the floor, and a 3-on-1 break, and a nice finish for the big man.
Looks like Boston U is going back with some of their starters. A couple turnovers. You got, your 19, 242. They're trying to take care of the ball and trying to put it away. And Bucknell, to their credit, is playing hard. And they've made some shots. And Avi Toomer came alive. And now Bruce Moore on the trail. So it's great to see the fight. They're not picking them up full.
2:40 to go here. White to the right side. McCoy off to Mahoney, looking inlet. White. And contact on the rim, a foul called. Xander Rice might have gotten the rim as White, trying to draw everybody to him, stopped. Any number of places where this foul could go. Get Avi Toomer with his second and send Walter White to the free throw line.
Well, they're going to shoot free throws, so
4% from the line this season. All Patriot League rookie team 2 years ago. Missed all of last season with an injury. And White back this year, 12.6 points per game. Misses the
1
second.
for 2.
12 points, 26 minutes played for Walter White today. Toomer to Funk. Crossover, takes it back, dumps it off Avi. Toomer for 3. Off the rim, no good, and a foul here. Bruce Moore was going for the rebound. Right arm extended, and the rest of the body pushed out of the way. Tynan picks up the foul. His first team 5th. 20-point advantage for the Terriers. Rice, off to Toomer. Bounce pass into the lane. Paul Newman shot's too strong. The left hand, no.
Run. You're all right.
We'll get back defensively as the Terriers slow it down. Joe Jones yelling out at the floor to slow it down. Looked like Villarino wanted to get it moving again. Down on 10 to shoot. Villarino in on Moore. Throws a one-hand floater, no. Ball tipped out of bounds. Last touch by Tynan. And it's a turnover. Give it back to Bucknell. Couple of substitutions. Ben Robertson and Alex Timmerman on the floor for the first time. Robertson, a senior from High Point, North Carolina. Timmerman is a freshman from Crystal Lake, Illinois. Substitutions as well as Adam McCullough onto the floor for Boston. It's his first minutes of the game, just his 7th game this season. 1:34 left.
A lot of respect for each other and these two coaches. They've gone at it a number of times. So
Timmerman gets a touch. A pass in. Timmerman draws the defender and will head to the free throw line. 1.3 points per game this season for Timmerman.
And this has been part of Bucknell this year. We were talking about up, down, and down one. They've had a couple things go on, like most teams, so it's not an excuse. But Timmerman has gotten some quality time. I remember him playing a great game over at Ryder. There's only so many minutes you can have. So I think Coach Davis has found a rotation. Having Meeks out probably changed that a little bit more. Jake Vanderheiden got a few more minutes today. So it'll be interesting turning this around to Monday to see if really the 8-9 that they have, are there. But again, we were admiring the game, and it seemed like Boston U got out of the blocks in the second half like gangbusters.
Those shots off the mark. Still a 20-point advantage. Vanderheiden, 5.2 minutes per game on average. He's played in 15 prior to today. This afternoon, however, he's gotten 16 minutes on the floor with John Meeks on the bench. Hemphill takes a baseline shot's no good. The rebound tipped. Picked up by Ben Robertson. For Rice through a double team. Off the glass, bucket and the foul. Under a minute to go here in regulation. Xander Rice to the free throw line. Just under 80% this season. Contact here. They're going to get Hemphill with the foul. Jack Hemphill has played 8 minutes today. Shots up and no good. He was out during pregame just working up a sweat.
Yeah, he really was. But, that work paid off a little bit. He had a big 3 in the first half that I don't know if he's the regular with that, but he hit a big one, and so did Petcash. And I mentioned that was the difference at halftime in first half, which is interesting to see who not only is Bucknell trying to find a rotation, but Boston needs to find people that they know they can count on too as they go down, because they're going to be in the thick of things. This Boston team playing all this man-to-man, they've bagged the 2-3 for the most part. That's a lot different than the way they have played in the past. They can play fast.
And Phil takes it baseline. His shot's no good, but he's there for his own rebound and tip back. 20-point game, 30 seconds to go. Slight difference between the shot and game clock. Here's Rice driving in. Off the glass, no. Timmerman is there. Rebound, no. Grabs the board. Ball underneath, stripped away. McCullough will run it and then stop. No, bouncing past midcourt. Mayton 10 seconds to go as Boston University is going to run out the clock here today. They'll move to 7-3 in Patriot League play and 13-10 overall. The Bison fall to 9-14 overall this season and an even 5-5 mark within Patriot League action. Our final score 77-57. Boston University over Bucknell. We'll take a timeout, come back and put a wrap on this afternoon of basketball at Soika here on MyTV.
And the final from Soika Pavilion this afternoon, Boston University beats Bucknell 77-57. I'm joined by Bucknell head coach Nate Davis. Coach, tight in the first half. Second half, Boston University seemed to take it up a level. What was the difference there?
I thought they made a couple of plays early, and I thought we got a little bit frustrated and had some bad possessions and put ourselves in a big hole. I mean, at one point we had 20 possessions and 11 turnovers. You just have no chance when you do that.
Okay. So what do you take away from this game and then bounce back to get ready for Monday night's game?
Well, I think for the most part, you're never as good as your best game or as bad as your worst game. Hopefully this is the worst we'll play the rest of the way, the second half here. There were certainly some things I thought in the first half we were really pretty good offensively. We missed a bunch of layups, got some good looks. Second half, when it wasn't going our way, we got a little frustrated, put our heads down, and didn't get the same type of shots. We've got to be able to grind it out when it's not going well to give us all the chance down the stretch.
Okay, thank you very much, Coach. We appreciate your time. Bucknell basketball coach Nate Davis. Bucknell goes down by 20 points this afternoon, Adam. Couple of losses in a row.
Thank you so much, Paul, and thanks to Coach Davis for joining us here on the post game. 77-57 the final. Bison fall. They drop to 9-14 overall, 5-5 in Patriot League play. Before we put a wrap on it, we do want to mention 8 3-pointers today, thanks to our friends at Dunkin'. That's 24 pounds of coffee to be donated to the Central Pennsylvania Food Bank. Dunkin' is matching Bucknell 3-pointers on the home court today. 3 pounds of coffee per 3. I can do that math. And it puts us at 60 pounds of coffee during our MyTV games this year. Kudos to our friends at Dunkin' for providing for the Central Pennsylvania Food Bank. Up next, Lafayette on Monday night. It's a nationally televised game. It's a game that the Bison need to come out strong. They need to learn in the next 47 hours or so of how they're going to prepare, how they're going to come back on Monday night. How do you respond? How do you get these guys motivated for the next one?
Well, you'd be very positive. I heard Coach talk about the first half and how they did some things. And remember, they didn't have Meek, so that will be he won't have to say that. That will be a little bit of a rallying cry that they'll be at full strength. But they have to come out against Lafayette with a better idea of purpose and urgency. And that's the start of the second half tonight. There just wasn't an urgency. And Boston U took it to them in the second half. It almost was like the scouting report in the second half. They lost some shooters. They were allowing Boston U to get the ball where they wanted to, and they started taking some stretch threes that in the first half they were driving the basketball. So it's obviously there, but they're going to have to start the game a little quicker, and that purpose, and they're now at the point where they are not 7-1, or they're not on first place or sitting up there where you're in the catbird seat. You now got to play as a team that is hungry and that is mad, and a team that needs to show that they can fight with anyone.
18 points, 11 boards from Max Mahoney, the double-double. Javante McCoy finished with 15 points. Walter White had 12. The 3 Terriers in double figures. Bucknell also had 3 in double digits. Avi Toomer with a Bison best 16. You get 11 from Andrew Funk and 10 from Jimmy Sotos. From the floor, just to throw this out there, 55.9% for the game for Boston University. Yeah. The Bison were at 41%, and it's ultimately a 20-point decision in favor of the Terriers. They pick up the win. They move to 7-3 in Patriot League play. It's 5-5 now in the Patriot League play for Bucknell. Final thoughts for you. It's been a fun ride this season, Pat.
I tell you, really appreciate it, and this has been so much fun seeing the Bison. It's hard when you get a game like this stretch, but there's been good basketball, good play, and a lot ahead of us. And I think the big thing that I take from that, the stats and all, I think are important. They were when I was a coach as well. But when you make those plays and when you shoot free throws and when you drive the basketball, it even more defines to me that those little things in basketball like Mahoney did today, in making people around him, it's such an important part of the game. So a lot of basketball to play, nothing to be completely down about, a lot of positive things. So let's play on, and thanks, Adam, for all your patience and guidance.
For the coach, Pat Flannery, and for Paul Griffey, I'm Adam Marco. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. The Bison fall today by 20 to the Terriers here on My TV, courtesy of Learfield IMG College.